My piece is called Becoming a Natural Me. I got out of the relaxer game for good 20 years ago. For those of you who don't know what a relaxer is, it's a chemical process that black women go through to straighten our hair. So I decided I didn't want to do it anymore 20 years ago. Prior to that, however, in 1996, before I ever got a relaxer, there was neither a lexicon to describe my experience, a gathering of souls, or a movement that I would join. It was just me and my hair. What you will hear is my journey to accept it. Family photo. Is that hairstyle familiar to the ladies in the room? Absolutely. All right. This is when mothers used to comb their daughters' hair. There was a ritualistic bonding to take place immediately following your weekly hair wash, before church on Sundays, and if you were lucky, every morning before school. In 6th grade, I started to want to alter my hair by asking for a chemical process called a curl. Yes, I actually asked for a curl. My mother promptly said no and asked me why. I told her I wanted my hair to be easier to manage. My mother countered that chemical processing would not make my hair easier. She compromised by letting my Auntie Sheila take me to get my first press and curl for Easter. Chicago spring was kind that year, and I was able to go back to school after spring break rocking my press and crimps, which I had meticulously cared for. My newly straightened hair garnered attention and admiration. I had participated in a rite of passage that every girl in my class had already embarked upon, and I was welcomed with open arms. By the time I got to high school, my mother assumed responsibility for my press and curl, and I would learn how to care for my own hair, surviving swim class, gym, summer, Adina Howard, total, changing faces, my mother not pressing my hair out on Sunday nights and sending me to school in plaits. I tried to get away with wearing a hat to school on a few occasions, only to be embarrassed in a class full of hair-normative teenagers who would gasp at my naps. Finally, my mother allowed me to get my hair relaxed when I was on the cusp of 17. I was a senior in high school, and she felt I was ready to enter this seemingly blood-in, blood-out covenant. Claudia, my mother's hairdresser, it was the 90s, relaxed my virgin hair. Although I had been through the ebbs and flows of accepting and loving my hair, and also renouncing and hating it. I was getting older, and I was ready to graduate to something more sleeker and more mature, so I found myself in a storefront shop on 103rd getting a perm. I graduated from high school with my cap smoothly laid over my hair, my slight layers gracing my gown, but I still wasn't completely satisfied with my crown. Somewhere inside I knew the choice wasn't my own. By the time I got to college, I began to feel free to explore what I wanted my head of hair to be. My hair, and I saw my natural self in the mirror for the first time in years. I remember feeling truly free from the confines of hair, and I felt more beautiful and strong. I was left with about 2 inches of new growth, which I straightened and curled once and quickly went back to my little afro, never to relax again. But who knew it would be so hard? Going natural at the time was such an isolating experience. Then there were no product lines like Miss Jessie's Mixed Chick, R.E.A.L, or Carol's Daughter. I just had Chanel's Mama, some TCB, some Less Jam, some water, some gel, and a hard brush. Most importantly, there was very little community making me feel safe and free. Nobody rooted me on. In fact, I often got the opposite. I've been called Erykah Badu, Angela Davis, and Macy Gray more times than I care to recall. Not because I bear any resemblance to any of these women, but because they have been people's point of reference for natural hair for so long. About a year ago, my cousin told his wife, who had recently big chopped, that she looked like an extra from The Color Purple. I stopped short of slapping him, but I told him not to be mean to her and to be supportive. And I told her to be patient and diligent, as her journey would pay off soon enough. In fact, it pays off the moment you decide to take it. So frequently we don't feel beautiful or ourselves in our own short hair post big chop. Long, straight hair having so long been equated with beauty. I once heard a young woman say, "A perm ain't never hurt nobody." I'm so glad that we all know that we know the truth. Perms Perms have hurt a good many of us, killed our self-esteem and self-image before we have had a chance to develop it. Over the years, I've come to understand that when people see something in you that they don't see in themselves, they're often threatened by it. Some try to crush it. It's easier for them to try to crush something in you than to discover something in themselves. Oftentimes, the most beautiful creations come out of destruction. Here now, we can look around the room and see the sisters, and like 80% of us are rocking our own natural hairstyles. It's a beautiful thing. Black women en masse have marked history with our purchasing power as the natural hair care industry could break the $1 billion mark in 2020. With all the changes in progress, my hair, which I've started over 3 times since 2000, is still a work in progress. It changes with the seasons, with the weather, with life, with stress. Half the time I walk out the house with one hairstyle and go back in with another. That's what my hair is, and I am another.